The Octagram are the absolute rulers of the world. Demon lords so powerful they keep entire nations in check. Tempest is a rising monster nation built on evolution, strategy, and adaptation. If these two forces went to war, the world wouldn't survive it unchanged. The Octagram expanded breakdown. Guy Crimson, the world's final arbiter. Guy Crimson isn't just a demon lord, he is the strongest, primordial demon and the unofficial enforcer of world balance. His power exists to prevent the world from collapsing under unchecked chaos. Guy doesn't rely on tricks or armies. He overwhelms enemies directly. In combat, Guy possesses near-perfect battle sense, extreme magical output, and absolute confidence born from millennia of victory. He has fought beings on the level of true dragons and lived. If Guy enters the battlefield personally, the war instantly escalates into an existential threat. Milim Nava, the living apocalypse. Milim is raw destruction incarnate. As the daughter of Nava, the creator god, her power is absurd even by demon lord standards. She doesn't need strategy. Her magicules alone can erase landscapes. Milim's greatest danger is that she doesn't hold back unless forced to. Once she enters a serious state, entire regions become uninhabitable. She also possesses near-infinite stamina and monstrous physical strength. Any army facing Milim risks annihilation within minutes. Daggerul, the immovable fortress. Daggerul represents absolute defense and overwhelming physical might. His body is almost indestructible, and his strength rivals natural disasters. Daggerul excels in direct confrontation, crushing opponents through sheer force, while he lacks finesse compared to other demon lords. His presence alone can stall entire battlefronts. Against Tempest, Daggerul would serve as a walking wall that even elite fighters would struggle to break through. Luminous Valentine, the silent tyrant. Luminous rules through fear and control rather than brute force. Her powers revolve around blood, faith, and domination over life and death. She excels in sustained warfare, draining enemies and breaking morale. Her greatest strength is territorial advantage within her domain. She becomes exponentially harder to defeat. In a prolonged war, Luminous would focus on attrition, assassinations, and corruption rather than open battle. Leon Cromwell, the perfect duelist. Leon is a former hero turned demon lord, combining human precision with demon lord power. He is deadly in one-on-one combat, wielding powerful magic and swordsmanship refined through centuries. Leon lacks the overwhelming presence of Guy or Milim, but he thrives in surgical strikes. Against Tempest, Leon would target command figures, aiming to destabilize leadership rather than fight armies head-on. Dino, the sleeping ruler. Dino appears lazy and disengaged, but this is misleading when forced to fight seriously. Dino reveals overwhelming latent power tied to ancient authority. His abilities revolve around domination and mental suppression. Dino's unpredictability makes him dangerous. If fully motivated, he becomes a nightmare opponent capable of overpowering high-level fighters who underestimate him. Ramirez, the hidden game changer. At first glance, Ramirez seems harmless, but her true power lies in control and preparation. As the Fairy Queen and Labyrinth Master, she can reshape battlefields, trap enemies, and drain resources endlessly. In a war scenario, Ramirez would not fight directly. Instead, she would manipulate terrain, logistics, and space itself, turning any prolonged conflict into a nightmare for invading forces. Tempest expanded breakdown. Rimuru Tempest, the demon slime. Rimuru's greatest weapon is not raw power, it's growth. Every battle makes him stronger. By volumes 15 to 20, Rimuru possesses multiple ultimate skills, near infinite magicules, perfect analytical support through seal, and layered defenses that border on conceptual invincibility. Rimuru can copy enemy abilities, nullify attacks, revive allies, and alter strategies instantly. Unlike demon lords who rely on fixed power, Rimuru evolves during combat. Diablo, the perfect servant. Diablo is a primordial demon whose loyalty makes him even more dangerous. He possesses terrifying combat intelligence, battlefield manipulation, and absolute devotion to Rimuru's victory. Diablo thrives against demon lords because he understands their mentality. He would dominate psychological warfare, dismantling enemies before they even realize they're losing. Benimaru, Supreme Commander. Benimaru is the backbone of Tempest's military. His power combines extreme fire-based defense with strategic command. He coordinates armies while personally overpowering high-level enemies. In war, Benimaru ensures Tempest doesn't fight chaotically. Every movement has purpose. Zejun, the anti-demon lord weapon. Zejun is built specifically to kill beings above his rank. His combat style counters demon lord abilities directly, making him one of Tempest's most lethal assets. Against Octagram forces, Zegian would function as an executioner, eliminating elite enemies with brutal efficiency. The primordial trio, Testarossa, Ultima, Carrera. These three primordial demons are walking disasters. Each specializes in mass destruction, high-speed annihilation, and battlefield control. They don't just defeat enemies, they erase armies. Their presence alone forces demon lords to intervene personally.
The war begins, a world in panic. But the moment war is declared, the balance of the world collapses. Nations evacuate borders. Trade routes shut down. Even heroes refuse to intervene. A clash between demon lords and Tempest would tear apart continents if left unchecked. Tempest immediately shifts into full wartime governance. Barrier systems activate across the capital. Labyrinth access is restricted. Magicule circulation spikes worldwide as demon lords begin mobilizing. The Octagram does not move as a single army. Each demon lord operates independently, forcing Tempest to prepare for multi-front asymmetric warfare. Phase 1. Opening Catastrophe. The war opens with raw power. Milim's presence alone destabilizes the battlefield. Entire regions are erased before Tempest forces even arrive. Doggerel smashes through Tempest's outer defenses, forcing elite units to intervene immediately. Tempest does not attempt to match destruction with destruction. Instead, layered barriers absorb damage while Rimuru analyzes attack patterns in real time. Tempest sacrifices territory to preserve its core fighting force. Casualties are heavy, but Tempest begins adapting almost immediately. Phase 2. Demon Lords versus Executives. This is where the war truly turns brutal. Diablo engages enemy elites directly, dismantling command structures. Through psychological warfare and overwhelming presence, his goal isn't victory, it's destabilization. Benimaru commands Tempest's armies with ruthless efficiency, coordinating counteroffensives that isolate individual demon lords. Zejun hunts targets specifically optimized to counter demon lord level abilities. Meanwhile, Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera devastate Octagram-aligned armies. Entire legions vanish in moments. Demon lords are forced to intervene personally or risk losing their forces entirely. Phase 3, the strategic collapse. As the war drags on, the difference between Tempest and the Octagram becomes clear.
They pushed us to the brink, again. Every line we draw, they break. There's only one move left. We burn their stronghold to ash and take back what was ours.
Octagram relies on fixed power ceilings. Their attacks remain devastating, but predictable. Tempest, meanwhile, evolves. New resistances form. Ultimate skills refine themselves. Enemy techniques become obsolete after repeated use. Rimuru begins counter-deploying skills tailored to specific demon lords. Even Milim is forced to restrain herself as her attacks lose effectiveness against layered defenses. Phase 4. Attrition and Resurrection. This is the Octagram's breaking point. Tempest recovers losses through resurrection and regeneration. Fallen commanders return stronger. Supplies regenerate. Morale skyrockets. Octagram forces, however, do not recover. Demon lords can endure, but their armies cannot. As casualties mount, even demon lords begin to tire. Ramirez attempts to manipulate the battlefield, but Tempest's internal coordination and adaptive strategies blunt her influence. Phase 5, the endgame. By the final phase, the war is no longer even. Demon lords are forced into direct confrontations they can no longer win cleanly. Diablo and Zegan eliminate high-tier threats. Benimaru leads decisive strikes that dismantle remaining resistance. Milim and Guy remain existential threats, but even they face opponents who have adapted specifically to counter them. The battlefield grows silent. Final verdict, who truly wins? At first glance, the Octagram appears unstoppable. Their power is ancient, overwhelming, and absolute. Demon lords like Guy Crimson and Milim Nava can shatter nations by existing on the battlefield in the opening stages of war. Their dominance is unquestionable. Tempest bleeds. Territory is lost, and the world trembles. But wars are not decided by who strikes hardest first. They are decided by who can endure, adapt, and outgrow the battlefield. Tempest is built for prolonged conflict. Rimuru's power does not stagnate. It escalates. Every clash refines his skills. Every loss becomes data. Every enemy ability becomes a future counter. While the Octagram fights at the peak of their established power, Tempest keeps climbing beyond its limits. As the war drags on, the imbalance shifts. Tempest recovers faster than it can be destroyed. Its commanders return stronger after every engagement. Its tactics evolve faster than the Octagram can respond. What began as a clash of gods turns into a lesson in inevitability. In the end, the Octagram still stands as the strongest rulers of the world, but Tempest becomes something else entirely. Not just a nation, not just an army, a system that grows stronger the longer it fights, and in a war where survival depends on evolution. The Jura Tempest Federation emerges victorious.
We end this now.
Predictable. One move ahead is all I need.
Cinders! Light him up!
Calculated.
Too fast!
You're already
Then
in
let's
check.
see you handle both of us!
Together. Exactly where I wanted you.